upon their arrival was almost unspeakable.
We thought all evil in some form or another. I'm not guilty.
The dead won't bother you. It's the living you gotta worry about.
If I couldn't keep them there with me whole, at least I felt that I could keep their skeletons.
Hello and welcome to the Bad Taste Crime Podcast. I'm Vicky.
I'm Rachel.
And we are back again.
Hi.
For another week of murder and mayhem.
Murder and mayhem.
How are you?
I'm super good. I've been slowly losing my voice. I have that seasonal allergy.
I can hear it.
So if I sound really hoarse and sexy and Lana Del Rey, it's for your benefit.
And congested.
Yeah, congested
Congested Lana Del Rey.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes a bitch gets sick.
Never.
Do you love that she
Never.
married a regular, tour guide from Louisiana?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Regular people are just people. I mean, stars are
I
just
know,
regular
but it's
people.
just so funny that she went on a boat tour and was I want that big, crazy redneck.
It's not surprising.
It's kind of her brand.
It's her, it's very much her brand.
But I remember seeing that headline and
that.
I was like, that's got to be PR or something. And then I'm like, oh no, they really got married.
Oh
okay.
My God.
Okay.
Well, if this is your first time listening, a special hello to you.
Hello.
We are going to head over to the newsroom.
Let's go there.
Fit to breathe, our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad.
This week, our news was sent to us by friend and mom of the show, Eileen.
Oh my God.
Who's been on.
Eileen.
Yeah, my mother. This is actually, so this is CBS News, but this is out of Europe.
Ooh.
A 12-ton shipment of Kit Kat bars was stolen.
What?
Yeah. And this happened right before Easter. So there was actually Kit Kat shortages in Europe right before Easter. Yeah. And Kit Kat is owned by Nestle, which is a Swiss company. So they said that a truck transporting 413,793 units of its new chocolate range had been stolen during transit in Europe.
Oh my God.
It had left a factory in central Italy and was heading to Poland when it was stolen. They were
stolen in Poland.
They were still trying to figure out where it was, as far as I know from this article.
I hope it's not melted.
Now, the interesting thing about this is, especially with a candy giant like Nestle, right? They will put identifying information on all of the candy bar packaging that correlates to batch numbers.
Really?
And things. Well, they need it in case there's an issue with products.
No, that's very smart. I just didn't realize they did that.
So they said that you can scan the unique batch codes that are found on each Kit Kat bar, and it will basically tell you if it's stolen candy or not.
No way.
Because they know what batches were on the truck, so they can flag the batch numbers.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a bag at home that I will be scanning. I'll let you guys know.
It's probably, they're probably still in Europe, unless they were smart and they moved them overseas, but who's knows?
To say? Wow, that's so shitty.
Yeah, so
all these poor European kids Mama,
they haven't.
My Kit Kat.
They haven't figured out who it is, who's done it, or where they've gone, but they're hoping by having people scan the batch numbers that they'll be able to at least put together some sort of trace on where the stolen bars are being sold or given out at or distributed to or whatever it may be.
Wow.
There's also I would say, relatively high probability of this working because there is this thing where people want to be the ones to find a stolen bar.
Right. I was going to say, this is going to become a huge thing. Everyone's going to be scanning it.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with Kit Kat in Europe right now.
That's very Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Everybody look for the golden ticket. Tick, 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 tick.
Well, we love our food crimes, right?
Right.
It just is baffling to me that somebody can get away And it would make you think that maybe they were an employee of the company.
That's what I feel.
But then I'm also like, I feel like a lot of semi-trucks and stuff now, at least the trailers, have some sort of tracking something on them.
Right.
To follow where shipments of things are going and where they are. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know enough about shipping to determine that. But I would think so, right? Like, it's not like we don't have the technology and companies want to know where their product are.
Right.
Especially if you're a company like Nestle. Like,
I was going to say, who has a gazillion dollars.
Right.
And it's probably has to be like a special refrigerized truck. So
Maybe.
it doesn't melt.
Could be.
Wouldn't you think?
I mean, it doesn't get as hot over there as it does here.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Might be, but who knows?
I bet it was Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
I bet he pulled up with his Oompa Loompas.
Remember when
and
he
just, like,
died? He's not
unloaded
actually
it.
dead, of course.
Who died?
Of course not.
Oh, Willy
Wonka. Yeah, remember he came out of the factory injured and then
he fell
did
down.
a little twisty. And
The actor improvised that,
yeah,
which is so cool.
the actor named.
Gene Wilder.
Yeah, there you go.
R.I.P. Gene Wilder. That
Yeah.
guy from The Bear looks just like him.
Yeah, he does.
Jeremy
he
Allen
really
White.
does.
They need to make a biopic like today. He would be great.
All right, so we're going to move on to Netflix and Kill, which this week we are talking about Netflix, a documentary on Netflix called Trust Me, the False Prophet.
Ooh.
Which is, are you familiar? Have you heard? It is everywhere.
That sounds so interesting.
Just from the title alone, what are the vibes you're getting?
I'm getting
False prophet.
that this is some kind of like culty thing, maybe?
So this is about the FLDS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The
Those wacky Mormons.
yeah, the traditional
100 wives, long hair, dress.
Mormon
Sexual assault.
Yeah. Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints,
Yes.
I think. So if you remember, a couple years ago, there was a documentary that was released on Netflix called Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey.
So good.
Very, very good.
One of my favorites. Very hard to watch, but so well made.
In that documentary, it did feature a woman named Christine Marie.
Okay.
Who had moved to the Crick where they all live and sort of embedded herself and had been
Yes.
sort of following them with cameras
Right.
and really gotten the trust of some of the people in the FLDS.
Yeah,
and
like
they
Jane
let her
Goodall.
into her world. Yeah.
Right.
And I respect her a lot because she herself has background in being in the FLDS
Yeah, it's
and
personal.
being taken advantage of by somebody who called himself a prophet. So she has the experience in that, right? But
Right.
she also very much was like, I am not going to turn my back on these people simply because they're FLDS, because they need somebody to
They're
go
in a
to
cult.
when they need help.
Right.
And she just wants to help people.
Yeah, she has a lot of compassion.
Yeah, yeah. So her and her husband embedded themselves in that. She is featured in that documentary, although it's a lot of other stuff as well.
Right.
This documentary, Trust Me, the False Prophet, is entirely the result of their filming and continuing to film after that.
Oh my God.
So when our story ends in the first one, and I think many people know about Warren Jeffs.
Yes.
And he got sent to prison and he sort of released this edict that, well, one, he was still releasing edicts while he was
Still
in
running
prison.
shit. Yep.
And he, in the very beginning, released this edict where nobody was allowed to procreate. There
Right.
could be no babies born. You could not have any sex. Because obviously he was in prison,
Right.
not having sex.
Right.
So,
If I can't, you guys can't.
if I can't have sex with children, you also can't have sex with
Right.
children. Because let's
Right.
remember, he's a fucking pedophile.
will is done.
So he continues to release these edicts from prison for a while, and people are kind of floundering a little bit because this person they thought was their prophet is
Right.
now in jail, and he, after a period of time, sort of stops communicating.
Yeah.
And really, from reporting, has kind of lost it while he's been in prison. Like, he's gotten
he's going
a bit
nuts.
more erratic, and his behavior is just very unusual, and he is kind of.
I hope he's
losing
having
it
a
in prison.
terrible time.
I'm sure he is.
Good.
In the meantime, a couple of years after this, right? They're still filming. This guy sort of shows up on the scene. His name is Samuel Bateman.
Uh-huh.
And he shows up with a wife, which is weird because there's an edict that says you
Right.
can't get married.
Hey, that's against the law here, sir.
So Samuel Bateman essentially comes out, says Warren Jeffs is dead. The person that they have in jail, like, it's a media conspiracy. He's not actually alive. He's actually dead. I am the prophet.
Oh.
Carrying down Uncle Warren Jeffs' edicts and messages from God.
How convenient.
And claims himself to be the new prophet.
Oh, dear.
Immediately starts taking all of these wives.
Yeah.
He sort of enlists these 3 guys into his now sort of,
His little council.
yeah.
Ew.
They pledge their daughters to him. In the meantime, Christine Marie and her husband are gaining their trust, filming all of the inside. She is essentially trying to find evidence of child sexual abuse.
Yeah.
She is working with police, kind of, but they keep telling her she doesn't have enough evidence. And then finally,
God.
they, you just wait for them to slip up and say
Right.
something. And they end up working with the FBI, and her basically filming built the case for the FBI to go in and do a raid, and they aided them in their
Go
raid.
Christine.
So this is an incredible documentary because
Oh, I can't wait.
they do really get access, I think a lot of people don't have.
Right.
They manage to sort of play this role to the point where Samuel Bateman trusts them.
Right.
And then starts sort of revealing some of these more, weird,
Dark side of the moon. Right.
yeah, dark things. She ends up gaining the trust of us. It was basically one of his wives.
Okay.
But she was the mother of one of the children, she was married to one of the guys who was like in his council.
Oh.
And her
So
daughter
got
had been
pledged.
yeah, so she felt like she couldn't leave because she was like, I'm
Right.
not going to leave my daughter with this like crazy guy.
Right.
And ends up going to Christine for
Oh,
help,
good.
working with Christine about what the fuck is going on in this house and the
my
signal
God.
chats and these messages that they get and the things they're talking about. She's writing down everything. So like it basically leads to this FBI raid
Good.
on the compound, and he gets arrested. I'm pretty sure he was charged.
Yeah. I'm
Went
sure.
to prison. I think he might
What
not.
a freak.
He might not actually be in prison yet, but
But they're getting there. They're
Yeah.
building the case.
yeah.
But like things are happening.
Right. Yeah. It is super, super good.
I
It's
cannot wait to
very
watch
good.
it.
It's very good. The other thing that I find interesting, and this is the first time I've really seen this done, is obviously when you do something like this, typically you will blur the faces of minors, any minor involved.
Right. Of course.
What they did is they essentially digitally replaced those faces. So they're not the faces of the children, right? They're like AI altered versions.
Oh.
I don't think it's AI.
But no,
they're-
I know what you mean.
But they're like digitally replaced. So everybody has a face.
Interesting. But without betraying their identity.
Correct.
That is, I bet that's going to be like the new thing to do.
Yeah. And I thought, and they pointed out in the very beginning of the
That's
movie, they
really
say,
cool.
typically this is what you do. We've decided to digitally alter. So obviously,
Right.
like you said, it still obscures identity.
It's kind of giving them their voice back in a way, I feel.
Yeah. They didn't
That's
do it for
cool.
the babies.
Good.
Like the babies. They
Well,
were
right.
still just like full blur.
Well, right.
Because I feel like a baby face is more difficult to.
Well, yeah. And I
do
mean, what a
consistently.
baby's not going to testify or say anything significant.
Yeah. So anyway, that I also found interesting.
That's so interesting.
Highly would recommend it. It's
Yeah.
like 4 parts, I think.
Okay.
But just simply for the access that they got into
like
this.
talk about investigative journalism. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I feel really bad because she does, I mean, spoiler, she wants to continue this facade of, being on their side.
Right.
Not that she's not. I mean, ultimately, like, her goal is to help them. She's like, I am on your
Right,
side.
but she wants to get them out of the cult.
Right.
But they're
Yeah.
really in the
But-
cult, so she
and
has to
they
pretend
don't-
like it's okay.
Well, and they don't know that this whole time she's been handing evidence over to the police and to the FBI.
Yeah,
and so
that's gonna
she's
be
like
a
trying to keep
big
that
deal.
secret. And
Thank God they don't have the internet.
well, no, they're not they're Mormons. They're not Amish.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
They have cell phones.
Damn it.
They have internet. They have all of this.
Foiled.
But she basically gets outed by DCFS.
Shit.
And because all of a sudden there's this whole thing about how the FBI, when they did this raid, they were not informed that DCS had been informed and was going to also come in and like take the children, like take the minors, which added another layer.
Right.
And then they kind of went rogue and somehow outed Christine, and then they started finding out. And so like now all these people are turning on her, and she's like, I was really hoping that they would understand before they found out that I'd essentially been the mole.
Benedict Arnold.
Yeah. So it's really, really, really good.
So good.
Yes.
So like I cannot wait to watch this.
Yeah. It was when I saw she was involved in it again, and it is literally just their footage pretty much. So good. It's just very interesting, great journalism. And
I love that.
Yeah.
Go
Christine.
Really,
really good. Really good. This is that part of the show where we say content may not be appropriate for all listeners. This week we're talking about murder.
We are indeed talking
straight
about
up
murder.
I'm talking about straight up murder.
Mine's got a bunch of shit. Mine's got some drugs. Mine's got some sexual abuse, some child sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. I'll be gentle, but yep, it's a thing. It's a thing. This one's kind of a doozy.
So this week, we're kind of going in an interesting direction, I would say, because I do think just naturally as a podcast, we kind of play into this a little bit.
What?
Luckily, we are not like real-time reporting.
Right.
Which is good.
Live on the scene.
Yes. But I wanted to look at a couple of cases that are considered a media circus.
Yes.
Which, I think the idea of having a media circus isn't new, right? Like you say that, and
definitely not.
I could probably come up with 10 cases at least.
Oh, absolutely.
That landed this. You're talking things like O.J. Simpson and JonBenet Ramsey and Princess Diana is a perfect media circus. Like all of those things where it's like very and it's gotten especially worse now because the media is just around 24/7.
Right.
And live streaming.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? So there's that. But back in the day, it was a very like tabloidy thing. Like it was very sensationalized.
Yeah.
Less about informing and more for entertainment.
Yeah, very much so. They would just straight up make shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, while this idea of like a media circus it's not really a new thing.
Right.
That specific term didn't really start first appearing until around 1970.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Even though like way before that, they had this journalism that was just like wild.
The term itself.
Correct.
70s.
Yeah.
Cool.
I found as I was looking into like the history behind like the term media circus and this sort of idea, I found this really interesting little tidbit from Wikipedia, which is not a preferred source, but
no, I
just thought it was really interesting.
They're my friends.
Media circuses make up the central plot device in the 1951 movie Ace in the Hole about a self-interested reporter who, covering a mine disaster, allows a man to die trapped underground. It cynically examines the relationship between the media and the news they report. The movie was subsequently reissued as The Big Carnival, with carnival referring to what we now call a circus.
Oh.
In the film, the disaster attracts campers, including a real circus. The movie was based on real-life Floyd Collins, who in 1925 was trapped in a Kentucky cave, drawing so much media attention that it became the third largest media event between the two world wars, with the other two being Lindbergh's solo flight and the Lindbergh kidnapping.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So funny where it's like this case, and the two world wars that were also going on. Like,
Yeah, literally, but literally it was like World War One.
Who cares?
This guy getting Floyd Collins getting trapped in the cave.
Oh my God.
The Lindbergh flight, the Lindbergh kidnapping, World War II.
That's nuts.
That's like the big
super nuts.
I know. Which, speaking of the Lindbergh kidnapping, actually, What I am going to talk about today is the Hall Mills murders, which a lot of people have not heard of simply because it was overshadowed by the Lindbergh kidnapping just a few years later. It's like
this is
wiped from history.
Good one.
Yes. So the story focuses on two people, Eleanor Reinhardt Mills and Edward Wheeler Hall, and it takes place in 1922 New Jersey. Eleanor was married to James Mills, and the two had two kids, Charlotte and Daniel. And James worked as a full-time janitor at the local elementary school and was the sexton at St. John the Evangelist Episcopal Church.
Wow.
I know. That's a mouthful. Edward was married to Frances Noel Seasons, and it doesn't appear that they had any kids.
Okay.
Edward received his theological degree in Manhattan before eventually moving to St. John the Evangelist Episcopal Church, where he was a priest, minister.
Cool.
So
He's this guy.
leading the masses. On September 16th, 1922, Eleanor and Edward's bodies were discovered in a field in Somerset, New Jersey. Somerset County, New Jersey. Both were lying on their backs and had been shot in the head with a .32 caliber pistol. Edward had been shot once, and Eleanor had been shot 3 times.
Dang.
Eleanor had been shot under the right eye, over the right temple, and over the right ear, while Edward had been shot over the right ear with an exit wound out of the back of the neck.
Okay.
When the bodies were discovered, it appeared that they had been positioned to be lying next to each other with their feet pointed towards this crabapple tree.
Ooh.
Edward's hat had been placed on his face, and his business card had been set at his feet.
Who is this? The Joker? Like, you're staging this whole scene. This is creepy.
Oh, it gets better.
Spooky.
Just to add to the dramatics, a series of torn up love letters were strewn in between the two of them.
Okay. This guy had a Pinterest board for sure.
Like, yeah, the 1920s Pinterest.
Yeah, very much
Which is just a cork board?
Yeah, it's just a vision board.
Yeah.
This is what I want to portray.
So an officer who had arrived on the scene noticed Eleanor's throat had also been cut, and there were actively live maggots inside, meaning that they had been killed at least 24 hours earlier, if not longer.
Wow.
Because it was like long enough for,
buggies to come.
Yeah, which is gross.
Very gross.
I mean, a sign of, helps them determine when the bodies are placed.
Science is gross, but it is useful.
True. Obviously, once the bodies were discovered, they called the police.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Is good. Found bodies, called police.
Nice.
They were called to the scene to investigate. This caused a slight issue, though, because the crime scene was right on the border between Somerset and Middlesex County.
Okay.
And the New Brunswick police, which is located in Middlesex, were the first to arrive at the scene.
Oh.
But it turned out that the crime scene itself was actually in Franklin Township, which is in Somerset.
So this is like a jurisdiction issue.
Right.
Okay. Oh, already getting off to a bad start.
Right. So before they could even do like a full investigation, there were all these discussions about like who was actually supposed to be
the zoning committee
working the scene. Where's the line?
I wouldn't think that would have been such a big deal like back then, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
But that's interesting that it is.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while they're trying to figure out
what
is happening with like who's working the scene.
Right.
Word had sort of spread that they found these bodies in the field and soon after, nosy bystanders began to appear.
Our ancestors.
Yes, literally. I'm like, this would have been me if I was in the 20s. And as it happens so often in crimes of the early 1900s, especially in like 1800s.
Oh, dear.
People just started walking all over the fucking
just
scene.
taking shit.
They're trampling evidence. They picked up Edward's business card and were like passing it around so everybody could look at it. They're taking souvenirs. Like... Yeah.
That pisses me off so bad.
Because the
That's
police
so
were like, this is
disrespectful.
our scene. No, it's our scene. We
Right.
should cover it.
And then they're like, hey, is anybody watching those bodies?
Nobody was.
Nope.
They were arguing over the jurisdictional issue, and people were just like, look at this crime scene.
They're having
Whoa.
like a full like
Is this
Instagram
blood?
shoot with the bodies.
Yeah.
Like, so disrespectful. That's horrible.
Yeah, so it severely compromised the scene,
I can guess that.
which made the investigation even more difficult.
Bad start.
Because also it's 1920s, so it's not like the investigative techniques are the most
Right.
modern.
Boy, they sure are on the ground.
Look at all these footprints.
Let's go home.
So once they were able to figure out who should actually be handling the scene, they were able to identify the two bodies as belonging to Eleanor Mills and Edward Hall.
Okay.
Further investigation of the bodies revealed Eleanor's brown silk scarf had been wrapped around her throat. There was an additional bruise on her arm and a cut on her lip, and her left hand had been positioned to touch Edward's right thigh.
Jeez.
Edward's right arm had been positioned to be touching Eleanor's neck, and he had, like I said, the hat covering his face. He also had an additional marks, including a bruise on the tip of his ear, abrasions on the right index and left little finger, as well as a wound on the calf of his right leg. So it almost seems like there was a bit of a scuffle.
Right. I was going to say.
Or like a knocking out or something.
Yeah.
Edward's gold watch was missing, but the coins were still in his pocket.
Okay.
Which is also weird. Now that I think of, I mean, not now that I think about it. I thought it was weird at the time.
Well,
but
right.
for reasons that will become clear, I'm like wondering.
Seems
We'll talk about it
personal.
later. Yes.
Seems not random, I would say.
Right. It seems like the only real lead they had was from the sole witness, a woman named Jane Gibson, a.k.a. the Pig Woman.
Oh. What?
This poor woman. She's long dead now, obviously. But
Spoiler.
I feel kind of bad because she has literally gone down in
Pig
history as the Pig
Woman.
Woman. Yeah.
Why?
Gibson lived with her son in an old barn that had been converted into a residence that was near the field
Cute.
where Eleanor and Edward had been found. And they referred to her as the Pig Woman because she raised hogs.
Okay.
Not that she was a pig, but she
That's
raised
like
hogs.
best case scenario as to why she's called the Pig Woman.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
Not a great nickname to have.
not nice.
Not great. Gibson told authorities that at about 9 p.m. on the evening the murders happened, her dog started barking. So she went outside to see what was happening when she saw a man standing in the cornfield.
Oh.
Gibson decided to ride her mule to go confront the man.
Could it be a pig instead? Could you change it?
No, I
She
do.
rides a
I
pig.
love the idea of her riding away on a mule.
Me too, but she's the pig woman, not the mule
Because
woman.
it's not like a horse. I imagine it being like dun 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 dun, like you know. So she gets on the mule.
I love it.
To go confront.
Boom, boom.
But as she got closer to the crabapple tree, she realized that there were actually 4 people standing there.
Oh.
Gibson then claimed to have heard gunshots, saw one of the people fall to the ground, hearing a woman scream, "Don't," 3 times.
God.
Don't. At that point, she decided to turn her mule around to go back home.
I love her.
But as she's riding her mule back home, she looks back one more time and she says that she saw a second person fall to the ground and a woman shout the name Henry.
Oh.
This is what she claims.
Interesting.
But this is basically the only witness. This is
Right.
like the middle of the night in the middle of a field.
Right,
so,
right.
You know. Let's talk about potential suspects.
Okay.
The first and most obvious, if you could guess.
The mule.
The mule. Was Frances Noel Stevens Hall. Frances Noel Stevens Hall. Obviously, she was married to Edward. The inclusion of the love letters at the scene would naturally point to like the spouse of one of the people
He's dead with a woman
murdered.
who's not his wife.
I also, and this is why when I mentioned the watch, I was like, oh, that's really interesting because if it was his wife, I could see her taking that as like a I don't know, like a souvenir from her
totally.
husband, or
It
maybe
does seem
she had
personal.
gifted it to him and she's
Right.
like, I'm taking
My
this
fucking
back.
watch.
Yeah, like something, or it was maybe like an heirloom or
Yeah.
something that she's taking. Like, I could see
And
that.
the crime has so many, like, I don't mean this in a positive way, but like romantic little details that it
Yes.
seems very personal.
Yeah.
And who's more personal to you than your wife?
Right. So obviously they were investigating her.
Smart. Good.
In a later trial, the prosecution would allege that she set the ball in motion to have her husband murdered after discovering that he had been having an affair.
Wow.
To do this, they said Frances enlisted the help of her brothers, Henry Hugill Stevens and William Willie Carpenter Stevens, as well as a cousin, Henry de la Briere Carpenter.
Ooh.
Brother Henry was a retired exhibition marksman. Although
okay. Well, okay.
Although he claimed that he had been on a fishing trip on the night of the murder, which was something that was confirmed by 3 other witnesses.
Okay.
The other brother owned a .32 caliber like what had been used to murder Edgar and Eleanor. And the prosecutors would also claim that his fingerprints had been found on the calling card, which we'll talk about in a few minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that, yes. Frances, Henry, and William all went to trial. They arrested them.
Wow.
So they do this initial investigation in 1922. And at that time, they were like, we do not have enough evidence to prosecute.
Yeah.
They didn't decide to bring any charges against them until 1926 during a second investigation
Wow.
into the case. And I'm honestly not sure. I mean, by that point, you know, they had different investigators on it. I think
Right.
prosecutors had changed over.
Right.
You're talking about 4 years. And
That's like so long.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's
so
weird.
they bring these murder charges against Frances, Henry, and William. They go to trial on November 3rd, 1926.
Okay.
Which is really sort of like what kicked off the firestorm of
Right.
media coverage.
Okay.
It's not only the posing of the bodies and the love letters, like that's all a very alluring tale. Like
Very
it's,
much so.
You know, it's like lovers fighting,
Yeah.
this revenge,
Jealousy and
yeah, like all stuff that makes for good entertainment reporting.
Because it sounds like a movie or like a play.
Right. And people love a scandal.
Yes, we do.
People love us. I love a scandal.
Me too.
I do.
Me too.
But both the Stevens and the Carpenter families were both also very wealthy, and they had this like very high social status.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's another.
At the time. So the
Okay.
fact that the Stevens and Carpenter family relatives, Frances, Henry, and William, were being charged with murder was like
Oh, it's a scandal in the high society.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, again, like perfect for media coverage at the time.
This is like if Kim Kardashian was a murderer,
Yeah.
which she might as well be.
Yeah.
I'm not ruling it out.
The case itself was covered by the likes of the New York Daily Mirror and the New York Times extensively. The New York Daily Mirror especially covered the trial in this sort of very tabloid
Oh, dear.
kind of manner.
Lurid headline.
The titles, they honestly were not the worst that I have seen,
Okay.
to be fair. But they had a couple. There were titles like Maid Says Mrs. Hall Knew Reactor Was to Meet Singer. Hands from Dr. Hall's Grave to Fix Guilt of Those Who Murdered Him.
Oh.
And Dr. Hall was tenant of Love Farm.
I feel like we need like organ, like.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, not the worst I've heard.
Yeah, but still pretty
But
crazy.
it was like, okay, like the things that they are choosing to report on
Right.
are these very like, it almost seems like people are coming to them like, I heard a rumor that the maid.
Yeah, it's so like unsubstantiated.
Right.
Like
and
from
then they'll just
nothing.
print that
They're
as a
just pulling
headline.
this out of their ass.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, pretty much. The prosecution brought in a fingerprint expert who testified that the fingerprints on the calling card belonged to William. Although I want to really quick show you a picture of them, because when you look at the picture of them, I'm like, how can you even tell
Okay.
one fingerprint from another because they're all one.
You want me to come over there?
You got to remember. No. I'll show you.
Okay.
That this was from people handing the card around in the crowd.
Right, smudging it all around.
Yeah. So these were the fingerprints that they got.
Whatever. Okay, so audience at home, what we're looking at is a bunch of fucking black smudges. Like, I used to, at being a weird little child, I would look like in books, like when they would have stuff like that, like, oh, this is the fingerprint that was found at the scene, and this is the person's fingerprint, but it's like really clear.
Yeah.
I would have so much trouble identifying, like, are these the same? With very clear illustrations. These are the blotchiest, blobbiest.
And to be fair, like, I'm sure this photo is not taken of the highest quality, right?
Oh, no, I'm sure it looks like it's been Xeroxed 1,000 times.
Especially the back, where
Yeah.
it's like, it's almost like, 15 people touched the card in the same spot or something.
Right, almost. It would be literally impossible.
That's why I'm like, I don't know how they could tell that his specific fingerprints were on it.
I think they couldn't. I think they made it up.
They probably did.
You know what?
So the pig lady was also there to testify. And when she came to testify, the prosecution painted her as uneducated and crazy. Well, the story she told to police, the story she told to the media, and then the story she told at trial all had differences that were
dear.
like, it was enough to sound like she was making it up.
Okay.
It was enough to be like, you're
probably
kind
just
of
nervous.
not credible. Well, yeah, I mean...
You never know.
Or you're like, this thing is happening on my property. Let me get involved. I could
Come
be
to Jane Gibson's Pigs, the site of this crazy murder.
well, and just being able to, get the attention from the media
Touch the
as
mule
the
who
witness.
discovered the murder.
She
makes it like a roadside attraction.
There could be a little bit of that going on.
Yeah, who knows?
Wanting fame.
Who knows what her
being involved.
intentions
Yeah. Because I will also say, to add to the drama, she was wheeled into the courtroom in a hospital bed from which she gave testimony.
Okay, Jane.
So
Now listen.
So yeah. Although I'm like, if I give testimony, I kind of would want to be in bed. Make me the most comfortable.
Oh, I love that.
And I can just fall asleep when I don't want to answer something.
I'm not putting on like a shirt with a
Clothes,
collar.
real clothes.
Ew.
I want to go in a hospital gown, mostly naked.
That sounds nice. Sign me up.
They also had William testify at trial, which was a highlight of the trial.
Okay.
Not only because he had been accused of this murder, but he had been described as credible and not unsympathetic. So
Okay.
He's
a good witness.
Yeah. He went to the jury. He sort of described how William spent most of his time at the firehouse. He wasn't able to hold a job. He was kind of just this guy floating through life who was a bit eccentric, and like this eccentricity really came through on the stand too. He's like, he's kind of a weird dude. Now they think that the eccentric personality was actually high functioning autism.
Hey, gang.
But there was not a diagnosis for that at the time.
Right.
But they're like, no, we think he was like a highly
he talked
functioning
about trains for like
person.
15 minutes, and we did not ask him about trains.
Which I'm like, makes sense as to why he would seem eccentric and probably couldn't hold down a job. And you know what I mean?
That's always interesting, like looking back at old stories with like a modern lens.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every story I look at, I'm like, the tism.
Yeah.
I see.
I can see the tism in you.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
But they had no idea, so they were like, that guy's weird.
No, so they sympathized with, the jury sympathized with him a lot.
Yeah.
After, which is kind of nice because I'm like, it could have gone the other way where they're like, man, this dude is a freak, you know,
they're
like
he's our freak.
Yeah. But we love the freaks.
We love him.
So after almost exactly 5 hours of deliberation, all three of the accused were acquitted of all charges and released.
Okay.
The cousin, Henry de la Briere Carpenter, who hadn't gone to trial with the other three, he was like awaiting trial.
Okay.
He was charged and he was set to go to trial, but after this verdict, they dropped all the charges against him as well.
Makes sense.
An article from the Evening Courier had some maybe juicier quotes, I would say, about the acquittal and subsequent dismissal of charges, including, quote, Simpson. So they talk about Simpson. Simpson is the special prosecutor that they brought on to handle the case.
Okay.
Simpson's letter to Governor Moore withdrawing from the prosecution in the Hall case formed a bitter attack on alleged flagrant activity by politicians of Somerset County in connection with the trial, and suggested to the governor, in the event that the prosecution was dropped, that you embalm Jersey Justice and send her to the British Museum.
Whoa.
The article then goes on to publish Simpson's entire resignation letter.
What?
He like sent it to the media and was like, here, put this in your article.
Oh my God.
Sends his entire prints his entire resignation letter that he sent to the governor in the article of the paper. It was kind of crazy.
That's iconic.
Like, y'all are insane.
Yeah, for real.
I'm going back to private practice. I don't want anything to do with this anymore.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Now, following the trial, Francis brought a defamation suit against the New York Daily Mirror.
Cool.
Which was settled out of court for reportedly like an exorbitant amount of money.
Whoa. Francis is rolling in the Benjamins.
Which, I mean, her family was already like a wealthy family.
Right,
so
bitch.
I'm sure she had very good lawyers.
I'm sure she did too.
Interestingly enough, the New York Daily Mirror, they did not even provide the largest amount of coverage.
Really?
It was just the most salacious and the most defamatory. Like, they were reporting, like we said, on like the rumors and the nastiness.
I'm kind of glad they had to pay her because I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate all that.
Yeah, the New York Times actually had much more coverage, like volume wise, like a higher volume of coverage. They
were trying to.
It wasn't as slanted,
right?
Yeah, and the Hall Mills murder received more space than any other trial in U.S. history until it was overtaken by the Lindbergh kidnapping.
Well, there you go.
There have been many more mentions and references to this case in both fiction and nonfiction throughout the years, including a 1964 book from liberal activist William Nussler called The Minister and the Choir Singer, in which he proposed that maybe they were murdered by the KKK.
Wow.
But he goes on to be like, because they're like, well, what evidence do you have of this? And he's like,
I thought it would be cool.
No, it's not. It's really not. He's like, maybe it was the KKK. They were active in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like pretty much.
You know what else is active in New Jersey? The Jersey Devil. Yeah. Maybe it was the Jersey Devil who did it.
And you're also talking about two people who are clearly part of the Episcopal Church.
Right.
Both white.
I was going to say, why would the KKK do that? Yeah.
One is from like this wealthy family. Like they're both married. Like, I don't know. I'm also like, it's just a weird idea to float to me.
Because it's not like they were like, it's not like they were like civil rights activists or anything.
No.
You know, there wouldn't really be any tie.
No.
To the KKK.
And it seems even just like taking the victim part of it aside, right? That they are not the ideal victims for an organization like the KKK.
Totally.
It seems way too staged for something that a member of the KKK
a bunch of
would
dumb
do.
hicks.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be able to figure, they can't read.
Putting these love letters in between them and leaving the business card.
Yeah,
and
no.
You know what? I'm like,
this seems like something.
I'm not sure why he decided to put that in his book. It just seems like a weird.
Probably because like just like what happened when you told me, I was like, ooh, it sounds exciting until you think about it.
Right.
Because I hate the KKK and I know that they do terrible crimes. But why would they have done this one? I don't know, but I'm sure it would be funny to read about.
Yeah. And it would make for a good like byline when you're trying to advertise like, was it the KKK? Find out inside this book. It wasn't.
That like reminds me of like the first season of American Horror Story when they're like they had the Black Dahlia in like as a character.
Yeah.
It's like, wouldn't it be cool if she was killed by ghosts and like an abortionist and such? And it's like, what fucking evidence do you have of that? Because it's on my cool show and I'm Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling shit out of my ass.
Yeah. So there's that theory, which is not really a theory. I mean, it was pretty much dismissed immediately, but I just think it's such a weird.
That's a fun pin note. I love that.
That'd be like, what if Hitler did it?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
One time he wrote about New Jersey. It was probably Hitler.
He probably thought about New
Mystery
Jersey at some
solved,
point.
you guys.
Yeah.
I'm still betting on the Jersey Devil. He swooped down from his tree.
With his love letters.
It's like, you betrayed me.
Yeah. So even with
this.
that very plausible theory.
Love it. Oh, yeah.
No additional charges have ever been brought in this
that's
case.
so sad.
At this point, all of the original investigators and suspects have died.
Well, yeah.
And the Hall Mills murder continues to remain unsolved.
That sucks.
Sorry, girl. I didn't tell you at the top this was an unsolved mystery.
God damn it. My least favorite.
But yeah, it was like a real, and this I find so interesting because again, like it has all the elements of something that's like very juicy for the media.
Yeah.
The only reason it sort of got fell out of interest is because of the Lindbergh kidnapping. Like something
it
else
got
came along that was
overshadowed.
juicier.
That's always so sad.
Yeah.
Media circus. Who doesn't love a circus? Well, probably people who are afraid of clowns.
Okay.
I happen to quite enjoy them, but I totally get why they freak people out. You know what scares me more than clowns is reporters. Not like small town plucky, like case solving ones. We're talking like paparazzi.
Okay.
I honestly would never, ever, ever want to be famous. Like the idea scares me so much.
Although now, and we've been talking about this recently in like personal group chats with the TMZ DC
Love
team.
that.
And it's like TMZ reporters harassing politicians.
I want to do that.
Love that.
I want that job.
You just want to go and yell at politicians. I
Oh,
think.
yes, I sure do.
Just ask them random things.
The idea that I could get paid to be like, you bitch.
I do love that.
Oh, love
the
that.
idea of that.
Hire me.
Yes.
TMZ, hire
Yes,
us.
yeah.
We would be great assets to your team. I could do that because then I'd be behind the camera.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like especially like we grew up in like a big time with like celebrities getting harassed by the paparazzi.
Yes.
Like I remember like Lindsay Lohan and like Paris Hilton and stuff like getting like their windows beaten in, and like poor Britney Spears, they're following her around. Like that always like just struck me as like so horrible.
Yeah.
I hate that. I don't think they should be able to get away with that. I think it's too much.
Here's the thing.
Like, God forbid I feel sorry for a billionaire, but like at the same time, I'm like, I think they're allowed to have a little bit of privacy. Like they have to have decorum. You can follow them, I guess, but don't like shove a camera in their face and like yell at them and be like, ooh.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? This is the legal brain in me.
Yeah.
When you are in a public space, you have zero expectation of privacy.
See, I understand that.
And you wanted to be famous.
I do get that. And I agree.
I'm not saying it's the best, and I'm not saying, but yeah, I agree when it becomes harassing and you're getting in their physical space.
Like,
or
okay, here's an example.
Blocking a car or blocking,
This is one that like people always bring up. One of my favorite people on earth, Bjork. I goddamn love Bjork. Icelandic singer, we love her. There's an old like 2000s, if you type Bjork into anything, this will pop up. 2000s thing of her being in an airport and a reporter goes like, welcome to London or wherever she was. And Bjork turns around and beats the shit out of her. She wails this woman out. And it's like, it was portrayed at the time as like Bjork is nuts because she's a very eccentric character. And like, why did that lady just said what really happened is that woman was a reporter for like a specific magazine and had been harassing Bjork. Bjork had been on tour, had given birth on tour and had her son and was like, had all this shit going on. And this woman had invited her like to have an interview. And she was like, hey, I'm really sorry. I can't. I have all this stuff going on. And this woman had made it like her life's mission to fuck with Bjork, had come to all of her events, had been like screaming expletives at her, had been following her around. When she got to the airport, she had threatened her. We're not going to let you get in your car, followed her all throughout the airport, yelling expletives at her, and then ran through the airport to be like where she was leaving and was like, hi, welcome to London.
Yeah.
She beat that. She should have. I'm glad she beat the hell out of her.
Yeah. I mean,
What are you doing now? These people are crazy.
I understand. When it breaches into like harassment, that's when I have an issue with it.
Crazy. And
However,
I think it often does.
You can't get mad if you're walking down the street and somebody is filming you and asking you questions. Is it annoying? Yes. But when you're in public, you do not have an expectation of privacy.
And I get sad whenever it's like, oh, I was walking down the street and I saw, so-and-so. And it's like, hey man, I'm a big fan. They're like, fuck you. It's like, don't do that. They're excited to see you.
Yeah.
I understand, but it's like, I just think everyone should have some decorum. That's all. That's all. I think being 11 and seeing vagina shots of underage Lindsay Lohan upset me a lot. I'm like, why are you taking pictures up her skirt?
Maybe she should not have been.
No.
This is going to be. She wasn't wearing underwear and she did a full spread eagle out of the fucking car.
Then don't publish it. Everybody has wardrobe malfunctions, but it's
You're right.
she's an underage girl.
You're right. Was she underage at the time?
Yeah, she was 16.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
fair.
like that.
Yeah.
I get it if you're Tara Reid on the red carpet and her dress falls off because she was obviously fucking wasted. She's an adult and you're on the red carpet.
I just feel like it is one of these gray.
It really is.
Gray
and we could
areas.
keep bringing up all these examples. But the thing is with human beings, we love drama.
Mm-hmm.
We do. It's so fun. Human interest. And it feels safe to be well, this isn't my drama. This is somebody who's far away.
That's why I love Housewives so much.
Absolutely. That's why I love Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Because it's and a lot of it is well, it's just human interest. Nobody's really getting hurt.
Sure.
It is what it is. But it's I just think I don't like paparazzi. I don't like them. They don't care about the human lives that will be affected. It's all about a paycheck. Mm-hmm. It seems safer to look at somebody else's problems and talk about what you would do if you were Chapel Roan from the comfort of your kitchen table.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. It's the same with sports teams.
Oh, totally. Totally.
Guys watching sports and being like,
I could do that.
Why didn't he do this? Why didn't we?
So funny. And we make fun of it, but I do that too. Every
I do
cooking
it too.
show, it's fucking idiot. You didn't temper the butter as I eat my microwave Hot Pocket, idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to add that while you stir. What are you doing?
Yes, stupid. It's human nature.
We all do it. Yeah.
Human nature, very much so.
Yeah.
The trial that I'm going to do today, so I also did kind of a vintagey one, kind of a 1920s one. And this one at the time was called the trial of the century.
Okay.
So this was a big, big, big one.
Okay.
This case is nuts. This case has everything. This case is nuts.
Okay.
Everyone in this case is an asshole.
I'm ready.
Get ready.
I'm ready. I just said that.
Okay. Get ready.
No, I am ready.
No, I don't believe you. So this is the case of Harry Kendall Thaw.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of consonants in that. Okay, so Harry Thaw was born in Pennsylvania on February 12th, 1871.
Okay.
He was one of 11 children between 2 marriages.
Sounds about right.
Pretty crazy. He had kind of a bad childhood. I think at least, one. So there was kind of a controversial case in his childhood where he had a baby brother who had died because the mother had fallen asleep with him in bed and had smothered him.
Oh, yeah.
So there was kind of back and forth about whether it was neglect or whether it was accidental. And it wasn't helped because she was a very mercurial woman and was known to beat her servants and stuff
great.
like that. So they were
love that.
Great. And he obviously inherited a lot of that because in childhood he was a complete terror. We were just talking about the last case about we were talking about somebody who it's in retrospect, they probably had autism or they had some mental issues.
Yeah.
This guy clearly had shit going on and it's fascinating to think about, but I'm not 100% sure what was going on with him. So I wonder what you guys are going to think.
Yeah.
So he had very bad, they say temper tantrums, but big blowouts for no reason. Huge temper tantrums. He had long bouts of insomnia, which kind of sounds like it's something that you'd be oh, okay, he has trouble sleeping. But early childhood insomnia is a big deal.
Yeah.
That means that there's something wrong. Like
Yeah.
almost always.
Yeah.
And he had a strange way of speaking where he would kind of babble. He would kind of baby babble, and he retained that into adulthood.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, so he was able to
Interesting.
speak, but he would kind of break off and be
Yeah.
like, so it's like there's obviously some kind of.
Almost like a vocal stem or something, right?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering. This is a quote from one of these articles that I was just like, oh, his chosen form of amusement was hurling heavy household objects at the heads of servants.
Oh.
Wow.
Sounds like you got that from mom.
Oh, I love that, right? God forbid a boy
the
has
old
hobbies.
pastime of abusing people.
It was a simpler time. So his family was pretty wealthy. I think his dad was just a huge businessman.
Yeah.
So he was pretty wealthy. So his parents were able to get him some education, but he kept getting like expelled from these private schools, just kind of like bouncing around Pittsburgh. The teachers described him as a troublemaker, and they also said, so I talked about like he had speech problems.
Yeah.
They said that he walked in like a weird zigzag. Everybody else, in a hallway, it kind of mimics a road. You go left, you go right. He would be like, just going.
You got to zag on him
all over the hallway.
He's just keeping him guessing.
Which I wonder, is it like, that's so interesting. Is it like an involuntary like brain thing where it's a physical problem, or is it that he doesn't care about other people and he doesn't care that he's getting in their way?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like very interesting. Somehow he was admitted to the University of Pittsburgh to study law.
Okay.
Sure, where he did nothing. And then he was like, I'm really rich and like come from kind of a famous family, so I feel like I'm going to go to Harvard. What, like it's hard? I'm going to go to Harvard.
Okay.
So went to Harvard, where he said, quote, that he studied poker at Harvard because he didn't do shit. He just went there
I like
to
that.
party.
I like that. That's like I
Yeah.
studied drinking in college.
This is like, I'm not going to go into it because it's literally going to take a million years, because this guy is nuts. This guy is nutso. This guy is a huge problem. Like, this is one of those people who could have easily coasted to adulthood and like not done anything much because his parents had so much money and influence. But he was like, I'm just going to fuck with everyone I meet. Like,
God.
he's holding up cab drivers with a shotgun because he thinks that they cheaped him out of like 10 cents. He's getting into fights with students and teachers. He's bouncing around. So he's nuts.
Okay.
He's fucking nuts.
Just looking for something to do, it sounds like.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he would get even more money at the age of 22 when his father would die, leaving him the equivalent to like $100 million.
Wow.
In his will.
Okay.
Right. And so
I wouldn't be mad about that.
Yeah. Because he was at Harvard, his mom like took custody of the money and gave him a monthly allowance of the equivalent of, just a low sum of like almost $300,000 monthly
month?
sum.
Oh my
of
God.
$300,000. She was,
so much with that amount of money a month.
and you know what he did? Trouble.
Of
He did
course.
bad shit.
Of course.
Bad shit. But his mom, he seems very much like the mama's boy, and she was not helping. She was enabling him. Every time there was a scandal, she would kind of cover it up.
Yeah.
So he would kind of go and do all of these crazy things. He gets charged with kidnapping at some point because he like was in a hotel and took a 19-year-old bellhop and locked him in the bathroom and beat him with a riding crop.
Dude,
like,
what?
he's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
He's nutso. Crazy
That's
boy.
crazy.
So at some point he had to kind of dip from Harvard because he was causing too much trouble. So he
Naturally.
He's like, I'm gonna go fuck up Europe.
Yeah.
So he went to Europe, went to Paris, was like just in like prostitute city. Like
Yeah.
hiring all of these prostitutes.
Good place to be for that.
Hired a military band for a party, which was like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Sure.
At one party, he gave everyone like as a favor, like $1,000, like an $1,000 piece of jewelry. Like, this guy is nuts.
I never get invited to parties like that where they're like,
I know.
Here's the party favor. It's $1,000.
I know.
What?
So this is disputed, but the term Playboy
Yeah.
came into like the common talk at that time, and it is rumored to have been inspired by this guy. By Harry
Interesting.
Thaw, because he
Okay.
was such a slut.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's messing around. He's partying in Europe, but he's still hanging out in America. Coming back, there are all of these like gentlemen's clubs, like not like stripper places, but like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like high society male clubs. And he
Sure.
was rejected from like all of them because they were like, you are a lot.
He had a bad reputation.
Yeah, he did get accepted to a club called the Union League Club. And they were like, hey, we're having a meeting tonight. Why don't you come on by? And he was like, absolutely. I'm going to ride a horse into your building.
Get out.
And they did. They said, get out of our club. And they said his behavior was, quote, unbefitting a gentleman.
Okay, that one I do kind of love, though.
I love it, too.
I do kind of love that
I think
one.
it's so funny.
Yeah,
like,
sure. Let me bring my horse inside.
Yeah, whatever. And it's just a regular building. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Please make sure there's an opening large enough for me on the back of a horse
and my
to get
horse.
in.
So obviously all of these bad things are happening. Like he seems to want to be in these clubs and they're rejecting him and he wants to go to these bars and they're like, dude, you can't drink here because you're an asshole. Like go away. And he, instead of being like, boy, I really should reflect and change my behavior, he is like, this is all the fault of this one guy. This one guy this is all a conspiracy. He is talking to all these people and getting me kicked out of all this shit. And this is this motherfucker, Stanford White.
Okay.
Stanford White.
Now, what did Stanford White do to him?
Well,
What is...
let's get into it.
Okay.
So,
like, is he just catching strays or like...
kind of.
Is he okay?
But, when two men fight, I think the kind of thing is like, is it over a woman? And in this time, it was.
Oh.
So what Stanford White did was he was, I think at the time, married to a woman that Harry was in love with named Evelyn Nesbit.
Okay.
So Evelyn Nesbit is, I'm not going to get into her too much because again, very interesting and sad life and would take me 15 hours to talk about. But if you've ever looked up, like the term Gibson girl is like a whole thing in the 20s. It's an art movement, sort of like a nouveau art. If you look up just like 20s illustrations, you'll come across. And Gibson girl was a type of model of the time. Evelyn Nesbit was known as one of the world's first supermodels because she sat for paintings for all of these advertisements for all of these things. And she had such a beautiful face and like beautiful wispy hair and dressed in like very whimsical clothing. So she was like the Gibson girl.
Okay.
So she was very, very famous.
Yeah.
And she also did things like Broadway and vaudeville and all this other stuff. But she was like, beautiful, beautiful.
I feel like back in that day when
you did
were
everything.
Yeah, you were a model and an actress and a dancer.
Yeah.
And a, like,
oh, totally.
The vaudeville thing was very much.
Wore many hats.
I feel like I remember not long ago listening to like a podcast or an interview where somebody was talking about vaudeville and how different it is now to be a sort of specialist, but you're starting to see a resurgence in multi-talented.
I think it's a recession indicator.
That's depressing.
Yeah, no,
That's
sure
real
is.
depressing.
Sure is. But so he had this hatred for Stanford White because he was in love with his underage wife.
Oh, I mean,
welcome
listen,
to the
that's neither
1920s.
here nor there. Okay, in this time, it was fine. Look at my lovely 12-year-old.
So she was at this time about.
How come it's always underage wives and not underage husbands? Anyway,
well,
just
we know why. We know why. That's a different podcast.
Yeah.
So how he met this girl is being a high society man. He's going to the theater and probably like shooting people and such. But he went to a play called The Wild Rose, which was a like vaudeville show. And Evelyn Nesbit, who already was fairly famous at about 16 or 17, she was a featured player.
Ooh.
Harry Thaw liked it so much that over the next year, he went to 40 more of her performances.
Oh my God.
I'm like, bro, she is in high school. I mean, she wasn't, but she was high school age.
Yeah.
She obviously wasn't at school.
Right. She was in vaudeville, the school of vaudeville.
So he was like, I must meet this girl. Like right after like the first show, he was like, introduce me to this girl.
This is such as you're telling me this, this is such a trope. Like this idea of, the first thing that came to mind is one of my all-time favorite movies, Moulin Rouge.
Absolutely.
Where it's this like wealthy guy,
the Duke,
who sees a beautiful actress or a beautiful stage performer, and he's like, I must have her at any cost.
Yes.
Like, I will own her.
And
she
that's
will
what
be
it is.
mine. Like,
She's
it's
just
that
another pretty thing.
which is a trope that you have seen in movies many times. That's just the first one I could think of. But
I actually kind of think that this story helped inspire Moulin Rouge.
You think
little
so?
bit. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's inspired many, many modern works.
Okay.
This is a big, big, big case.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's actually really funny that you brought that up, because as I was reading this, I was like, this is Moulin Rouge.
No, literally one of my all-time favorite movies.
Mine too.
And stage shows.
Yes.
Which is highly recommend if you ever get to see it in like Chicago or something.
I want to see it.
Highly recommend. It's a fabulous show. But yeah, this is very much giving me that kind of,
and it's that like rich men want beautiful things.
Yeah.
You know, and who cares that she's 16? Who cares that she's already married? I want that.
Right.
And it just so happens there were plenty of other girls in the chorus who were beautiful and gorgeous, but she was the most famous one.
Yes.
So he was like, I want that one. So right away, as he gets like an audience with her, he's talking to her about, he's like, you know, I know you're married to that architect guy, Stanford White. I'm like really concerned about you being around him because, you know, he's a grown man, said the grown man.
Oh my God.
You know, this guy's just like no good for you.
Yeah.
So he's like kind of talking to Evelyn Nesbit and kind of trying to like ingratiate himself towards her. She was probably freaked to shit about this old man coming to 40 of her shows and like demanding these audiences with her. So there's this whole thing about how he originally like had lied about his identity to get an audience with her and then had revealed his identity. This guy is just like crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, terrible, and stupid. So, and Evelyn lived in like a small apartment with her mother, who was like a pretty notorious like stage parent and was like allowing all of this to go on and reaping the benefits. Again, another very common trope.
Right.
A la everyone in Hollywood. So because her mother was not taking care of her, he could very easily sort of like worm his way in and get access to her. So he's like, baby, you are like so exhausted. You've been to all of these shows that I've also come to. Why don't we all take like a fun trip to Europe? Evelyn had just had like appendicitis surgery.
Okay.
So she had to take a break from the stage anyway. So he was like, you know what? We're going to take you to the sea to regain your health.
Of course, as they do.
But this trip was really a way for him to sort of begin to separate Evelyn and her mother. Because since he was there on this trip, he could be like, girl, she said this about you. Oh, she said this about you. And the women began to fight. They'd always been close, but he was kind of like pushing them apart in this very calculated
And
move.
she was married to Stanford White at this time.
Yes.
Okay.
So they ended up ditching her mom in like London, and he took Evelyn to Paris.
Okay.
And during this time, he's like, just, bro, be my wife. Bro, come on, just get divorced. Be my wife. Be my fucking wife. And she's like, ew, I don't want to. And
We're just friends.
We're just friends.
Yeah.
We're just Europe friends.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know this Stanford guy. And this is kind of interesting because he kind of turned out to be a little bit right in that Stanford also was not good for her. Who knew that an old man would not be good for a young woman?
Of course.
But he ended up getting her to tell him, because he's like, how did you end up with this guy? And Stanford White had gotten her drunk and drugged her and raped her, and then been like, well, you have to marry me because now you're ruined.
Wow. What a piece of shit.
Yep.
And they're all shitty in this story.
She was unconscious.
shitty all around in this one.
Yep. That's what I told you. That's what I told you. And he used that as well to be like, he was like, your mom knew about that? Your mom's a real piece of shit. You probably should never talk to her again, and you should only talk to me because I'm so good. So she was like, okay. Crazy shit. He ends up taking her to like the birthplace of Joan of Arc. And was like, look at this, because she was a beautiful virgin. And you could be a beautiful virgin if not Stanford White had ruined you.
Okay.
Very, very disgusting. This guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
He takes her to this weird castle in Europe, ends up also raping her over a 2-week period. He kidnapped her, kept her in the castle.
Wow.
Yep. And she ended up being like, all right, fine. What else am I going to do?
Right.
All right, fine.
Right.
So divorced Stanford, married this guy. She's like, okay, all right. But being married to him, she was like, this sucks. Because remember his like terrible mother?
Yeah.
She had to now live with the terrible mother. And so she went from this like amazing like Hollywood life to being controlled by this crazy lady in the house. Not good.
Yeah.
And through this, you would kind of think that Harry would be like, I won. I got the girl.
You would think so.
Fuck you, Stanford. And Stanford would just become a distant memory.
Yeah.
Not so. He continued, and she was always telling him, like, dude, let it go. He's not my husband anymore. You're my husband.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go. He doesn't have anything to do with me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Could not do that. What's even funnier is that Stanford White was like totally unaware of him like hating him. He was like, okay.
Yeah. Dude's just going about his life.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care. I'm just going to get another hot teenage wife. I don't care.
Oh, man.
I don't care, girl.
Yeah.
So at this point, being married, Thaw and Nesbit were going to take like this European cruise, but they did a quick stop in New York to see a show called Mademoiselle Champagne. Ooh, very
sounds
funny.
high end.
The night, so this was in June, and it was suffocatingly hot, very, very hot. So everyone was kind of like dressed lightly. Thaw went to the show and wore a long black overcoat over his like 3-piece tuxedo. Everyone was like, dude, why are you wearing that? Aren't you like super hot? And he was like, no, this is what I'm wearing. It's fine.
No, it's the style.
It's fine. I'm like, I look so good right now.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay. Something I also haven't mentioned is he is heavily on cocaine and morphine at this time.
Okay.
And
I should have just
laudanum.
assumed.
Like, so laudanum's one of those things where at the time there were like little bottles and you would take like a little sip. Evelyn later would testify that he would take the whole bottle. He would just like, gulp. So that's bad.
Wow.
Laudanum fucks you up.
Yeah, dude.
Fucks you up.
Yeah.
So Evelyn and Thaw are sitting at their table. They're enjoying the show. And who's but a couple tables down, but Stanford White. Oh, wow, what are you doing here? Well, it's high society
What do
in New
you
York.
think?
Of course.
What
okay.
a coinky ding.
You know, and like, it's kind of really not because they're all like high society, whatever.
Sure.
This is a high society event. So it's like kind of like,
Sure.
of course he would be there. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal. Okay, whatever. We're just going to get through it.
Yeah.
It was said that Thaw tried to like approach his table a couple times and would kind of like backtrack. So it was like really weird. It's like, dude, are you going to say something or what? But then during
Like he wanted to say something and be like,
and he would like kind of
right,
chicken out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then during the finale of the show, Thaw stood up, reached into his long, heavy, seasonally inappropriate overcoat, produced a pistol, and fired 3 shots at White, killing him instantly.
Okay.
It was said that
Seems extreme.
the shots were so violent that it like tore his like face apart.
Well, I mean, it's not. I feel like guns at the time.
Oh,
they
yeah.
had gotten better, right? But you're still talking of an era where like shrapnel was like a,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, just like
A bit, yeah, it's like buckshot.
Yeah.
Kablam, kablow.
right. That's crazy.
And
so
then
intense.
leading to the theatrics of the evening is everyone's like, oh no, is this part of the show? He climbed over his body, pushed the gun in the air and said, quote, I did it because he ruined my wife. He took advantage of the girl and then abandoned her. Right.
I feel like that's a slight mischaracterization. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. So this part I only
why
included.
is it that when anybody kills somebody in like a theater or
they get like swept up.
they want to like shout something
This is the
really
time for
clever.
my monologue.
This is
Like,
my
is
moment.
it?
I better not mess it up.
Is it though? Is it your moment? Like you should probably leave. At first the crowd was obviously afraid, but they were like, is this part of the show? Because that kind of thing was very common in that kind of like theatrical setting.
Yeah.
It was almost like a practical joke kind of thing. So they were like, okay. And again, these were like famous people. So you're assuming like, oh, it's just a part of the show.
With really good effects.
Yeah. So he still had the gun. So he grabbed his wife and was like, come on, let's go. And they went to the elevator and she was like, what? Because she had no idea. She was like, what the hell just happened? She's like,
Yeah.
what have you done?
Yeah.
What did you just do? And he goes, it's all right. I probably saved your life.
Cool. Cool.
Oh.
Well, thanks, I guess.
Thanks. He was obviously charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
He was like, don't even worry about it. I'll bail out. And they said, no,
Yeah.
we're actually denying you bail because we know that you have a lot of money.
Yeah,
Now, this
and
is-
the means to get out of the country really easily.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is starting like kind of the whole media circus bit because this was a very famous dude.
yeah.
This was a picture, so this kind of started the whole thing. You know the fancy restaurant Delmonico's?
No, but okay.
It was like a fancy New York restaurant, like a
Okay.
big restaurant. Knowing he was in jail, Delmonico's catered
Oh my God.
his meal. So he's sitting in jail.
It's literally a picture of him in jail at this table that has a very nice tablecloth and all the settings.
Like a frosty
and like
pitcher of water. And
Yeah.
like you are in jail for murder. And this
how very Al
restaurant-
Capone of him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that kind of like stirred the public up. The 20s
Sure.
obviously is this huge time of like economic inequality. And here's this asshole eating, you know, whatever filet mignon and caviar in jail.
After having just murdered a
He
guy.
blew his face off.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
Wow.
Oh, and he also didn't sleep on, he saw the jail bed and he was like, I think not.
I only sleep on Goose Down.
Right. He slept in a brass bed.
Okay. Wow.
He was allowed to wear his own clothes.
Yeah.
And he was allowed to drink during the day. He was allowed wine and champagne.
Okay.
So that's good. That's normal and nice. The news coverage went insane. Insane.
Okay.
Like this was enormous. It says, quote, facts were thin, but the sensationalist coverage was crazy. This is what they called at the time yellow journalism.
Yes.
Have you heard that term before?
Yes,
Very
yeah.
interesting, where it's like, yeah, you know, it's journalism, but it's really like making shit up.
Yes. Yeah. Which is very common for the time.
Narrative.
Yeah.
Of course, so I feel like a lot of these like high society families are like, whenever some like big scandal happens, they either lean away from it and are like, oh my God, we could not be associated with this. And they like shun the people involved. Oh, they're not part of us.
Right.
Very a la the Kennedys. We're just going to institutionalize them and put them away.
Yeah.
And never look at them again and
Yeah.
continue on.
Yeah.
Not this family. They were like, that's our beautiful baby boy.
Circled the wagons a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially his mommy.
Of course.
Who was running smear campaigns against both his wife and Stanford White, being like, it was that evil teenager. One of the headlines from that time, from just like a local Pittsburgh newspaper, quote, woman whose beauty spelled death and ruin. Dude, she was a teenager. She did not do anything.
Yeah, but it's always the woman's fault.
I know, but I
It is
don't
always-
like that.
She was too beautiful. She made men murder.
Don't like that.
Yeah.
So obviously, you know, as we've been talking about this guy's insane life and all of his weird choices, you would think that they would be like, let's just get him declared legally insane. So that was a big part of what the defense was doing. So the defense, which makes sense. And honestly, I'm kind of like, well, he was kind of nuts.
Nah.
He sure knew what he was doing. I don't think that like a legal definition of insanity would have held up, but there are definitely
I don't even think a non-legal definition of insanity would hold up at all.
Totally.
Maybe instability, but
Right, but it's like, it does
not
matter.
instability.
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 Yes.
You know, that unstableness.
So, the defense was coming to him and they were like, hey, this is our idea. Like, obviously you are a little fucking crazy. So we're going to lean into that. And that way there's no way you'll get the death penalty. And he went, no, that will make me look
crazy. That will make me look
I
crazy.
don't want to look crazy, you guys. And they were like, they're going to kill you. Like, this is, they're, all of
I'm
the
sure he did not
newspapers were
give a
talking
shit.
about like hanging and all this
Yeah.
stuff. They were like, we're scared. He was like, nuh-uh. Well, I don't want to look bad. So they were like, okay, we'll go to your mother. And he was like, she was like, don't make my beautiful baby boy look bad. He's not crazy.
Right.
They're like, okay, well, okay. So she like was hiring all of these specialists and all who were all kind of coming back to her and being like, he is pretty crazy. And she was like, no, away
Yeah.
with ye.
Yeah.
Another specialist. And they
Yeah.
were like, dude, he's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
He's pretty nuts. Oh, during this time, whether this was his own brain or something that he was doing for the press or whether he was able to differentiate between the two, he was saying that he was hearing choruses of young girls' voices in his jail cell championing him, championing. They were like, yeah, you can do it.
Do you want to try that one more time?
No, I really don't.
Championing.
Got it. They were like, you got this. We believe in you. You're gonna like win. You're gonna win in court. We are underage, by the way. We are underage angels.
Of course.
Like,
of
ew.
course.
He's so gross. So he ended up being tried twice for the crime.
Okay.
Which I will explain to you. So the first trial proceedings started on January 23rd, 1907, and the jury went into deliberation on April 11th. So like kind of a long trial. There was like a shit ton of evidence. After 47 hours of deliberation, they deadlocked.
Okay.
So 5 had voted not guilty. 7 had voted guilty. He responded to that with outrage and had a lot of interviews about how like, I am a chivalrous knight protecting the innocent.
Very
flower.
neckbeard. Yeah.
Whenever, because he had tons of interviews in jail. Like,
Yeah, of
like,
course.
What is this? And he would literally, when they would be like, hey, what did you think about, like, they were trying to say that you were insane and stuff, he would literally throw himself to the ground and, like, have a fit, like, have a temper tantrum, which is, like, he was like, would an insane man do this? Ah! Like, yes. They would.
Yeah.
So since the jury deadlocked and, like, couldn't do it, they were like, we'll have another trial. So January 1908, they're like, we will start the second trial, trying to figure out if you did this. So this time he was like, no, I'm crazy. I had temporary insanity.
Yeah.
I was just crazy at the time.
Sure.
So because he had a new like defense counsel.
Right.
And he had been able to be like, do you want to be dead?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be temporary? I love that now it's temporary insanity.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just crazy then, but
Yeah.
now I'm like so normal and cool.
Right. Of course.
Unfortunately, this worked.
Really?
He was found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Okay.
And he was sentenced to incarceration for life
Okay.
at the Meteorian State Hospital for the Criminally Insane in Fishkill, New York.
Okay.
A very cushy place where he
course.
was allowed.
That's like the
many-
ideal outcome for him, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't stay there. It was not for life. But he ended up getting out and doing all kinds of other crimes, like a dickhead.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that.
There was all of these other cases that were brought to him. Of course, Evelyn herself went to court and had to testify and was saying that he was threatening her this whole time, that she had to testify on his behalf, and that if he was exonerated, she would get a ton of money, and if he wasn't, he would take all her money. Like, and she was this young, naive girl. He was really taking advantage of her. When he was in the insane asylum, they ended up getting a divorce. So she
Good.
ended up splitting from
Good.
him. But like this should have been the end, but they're just dragging these things out.
Yeah.
Dragging this out because of course he's like, I don't want to be in here.
Right.
Let me out of here. So they're trying to have him released on a writ of habeas corpus. But they're trying, so like all of these people from his past are coming. So this is this huge, insane, lurid trial that is just dragging on while he's continuing to be in this confinement. So at this point, while this trial is going on in 1913, he just like leaves the asylum. He's like, bye.
Okay.
I'm going to leave. And he went over the Canadian border. So he's like, I'm just dipping, where he was immediately recognized and arrested.
Sure.
Because he's like one of the
Good.
most famous people
Right.
in the world at this time.
Right.
He tried to stay in Canada, ended up being deported back to US. Now all of these people around him are getting in trouble because they helped him with this escape.
Right.
So this is even more media circus. And then somehow on July 16th, 1915, jury determined they were like, no, you're fine now, actually. This was the working of a sane man. So they were like, bye, you can go home.
Yeah.
Set him free.
Okay.
The end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wild.
Isn't that bad?
Yeah.
So he, there was all of this, like, this is one of those things where, like, I get it, but I always find this so hard to, like, swallow. He had so many supporters who were like, he's just our beautiful baby boy. There were letters written in support of him as a defender of American womanhood.
Oh, gross.
Which, like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Very, very bad.
Yeah.
So this was like this is one of the first, like, huge, crazy, big media circuses. All of these headlines were like, it felt like most of them were based on, like, poor Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she is this young temptress tempting these men, when I'm like, she really needed to, like, go to school.
Yeah.
Like, girl, what were you doing there?
Yeah.
A contemporary reporter, I'll kind of tie this up with a quote by a reporter explaining kind of why this trial had such a hold on people. I thought this was really fun. He said, this is Irvin S. Cobb, a reporter. He said, quote, "You see, it had in it wealth, degeneracy, rich old wasters, delectable young chorus girls, and adolescent artist models, the behind the scenes of theaterdom in the underworld, and the great white way," which is Broadway, "the abnormal pastimes and weird orgies of overly aesthetic artists and jaded debauchees. In the cast of the motley show were Bowery toughs, Harlem gangsters, tenderloin panderers, Broadway-leaning men, Fifth Avenue clubmen, Wall Street manipulators, uptown voluptuaries, and downtown thugs." Quote.
Wow.
He was just like, this murder has everything.
I mean, it does.
Had everything.
It does.
I highly recommend looking into Harry Thaw's life, because he is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Nutso.
Crazy.
Nutso crazy boy.
What a fun story.
You can still
That's wild.
check out Evelyn Nesbit on, like, every 1920s illustration ever. She is the Gibson girl. So at least she was able to have some fame after that.
Right.
But the media kind of, like, drove her into drug addiction, and she ended up having, like, a pretty hard time in her life, which is sad. I don't like the paparazzi. They pissed me off.
What an interesting story,
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust.
Well, that has been our episode.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was. It sure was.
Do you have any final thoughts before we
I still don't want to be
wrap up?
famous. They keep calling me and asking me, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
no, I can't.
I'm sure. Same phone calls I'm getting, I'm sure. All right. Our sound and editing is by Tiff Fullman. Our music is by Jason Zashevsky, the Enigma.
Woo!
This has been the Bad Taste Crime Podcast. We will see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.
And left their bodies on the hillsides along the highway.
It was as if a wave of evil washed over this town.
We are all people in some form or another.